else left me hang out dry, I guess we'll get it done. I get to use this. Good afternoon. It is Wednesday afternoon, November 6th at 1 P.M. The Sarasota Transportation Disadvantage LCB meeting is called to order. The first thing is we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, peaceful, justice for all. See a few new faces, so let's do a once around the table, quick introduction, so everybody gets to know each other. I'll start. My name is David Machado, Fiscal Manager, Sarasota Manatee MPO.
Kim Waters, with the Sarasota Housing Authority.
Victoria Up the Grove, Transit Projects Coordinator for FDOT.
Scott Lansing with MTM Transit.
James Martinez with the Department of Health and Community Plan.
Tamara Shows with Breeze Transit Planner.
South Klein Breeze Transit.
Kim Ruder, Vocational Rehabilitation.
Nancy Chirac, Special Ed at Sarasota County Schools.
Alinda Mojic, Department of Children and Families.
Brenda Gordon, Human Services Medicaid.
For the record, Rachel, we have a forum.
Yes.
We will now open the meeting for public comment, including comments on any agenda items. On the screen, you can see 3 ways for the public to provide input to the LCB. All comments received will be shared with the committee members and made a part of the public records. Rachel, do we have any comment cards? Okay, first item on the agenda, item 4, adopt minutes for September 11th, 2024 Sarasota LCB meeting. And we can do both at the same time, right? Or we have to do, there's 2 on the list. Oh, sorry. There's only 1. Okay. Okay, we will now entertain a motion to adopt the minutes for the September 11th meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
Second.
You got that, Rachel?
Yeah, got it.
Any opposed? Our motion passes. Right, did I miss anything? I'm sorry. I just wanna use this again. Okay, next up is the action item is starting with 5A, approval of annual operating report AOR. Seth, are you gonna present anything or?
No, so we are still waiting on one of our vendors. One of the vendors has an issue with their financial, I guess, their vendor. We have all the ridership information, we have all of the driver information, we don't have the financial information. So until we get that from their financial vendor, they're actually not responding to them either. So we're trying to figure out what they're going to do. If we get too far into this and FCTD says, just take their numbers out, we just won't report that agency. But right now, they're still working with us to try and get that information.
Okay, I confirmed also with Sherry that it's fine for us to table this to the next, to the January meeting. So just for the record, that's what we're gonna do, give Breeze the time to have their people gather the information. So that was tabled. Next action item is 5B, election of the vice chair. The committee can nominate somebody, or somebody can just nominate Brett.
It sounds like Brett's a good call.
Yeah, that seems to be great.
If you guys want somebody else. I'm gonna throw Brett in the deep end because he's not here. As a suggestion, I can't vote or do anything. Okay, so Kimberly nominated Brett.
Second.
Is there a motion to
If you want it, one,
huh?
is he okay being vice chair?
Sure.
He calls in, he's like, yeah.
I don't wanna run, I don't wanna run. But does anyone else wanna run?
Oh, no.
Who wants the position? I think he did a good job, so.
Yeah, we all agree with it. I kinda alluded to him last meeting that maybe he should continue. So we need a motion and a second.
We have
Oh, you do?
Kimberly.
Okay, perfect. All in favor? Indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Brett. Okay, next action item is 5C. The TDSP minor update, Tamara? That TV is currently out of commission, so you might wanna
Oh, okay.
feel lonely up here.
So I'm going to talk about our annual update to the TDSP. And we do have a few new people, and just as a refresher for the others, I'm just gonna start out with quick overview of what the TDSP is, and then talk about the requirements for the annual update. So our TDSP, our Transportation Disadvantage Service Plan, is our strategy for how we're going to provide transportation services for the TD population that is cost-effective, efficient, unduplicated, and connected. And this is also a requirement for us to receive state funding for local TD programs. The TDSP is a collaborative effort between the CTC, which is Sarasota County Breeze, and the MPO as the planning agency. And then the TDSP is reviewed and approved by you as the local coordinating board. And then it is submitted to the Florida CTD for their approval. It is, the plan covers a 5-year planning period. And as I mentioned, there's annual updates. The kind of 3 main components of the plan are listed here, and I'll go into a little bit about what's included in those sections as we talk about the requirements for the update. To kind of give you background of where we're at now, the LCB did approve the major update to the TDSP in January of this year. And because of timing, we immediately had to do a 2024 minor update that was due in May of this year. And so now we are working on the 2025 minor update. So the first component of the plan is the development plan, which mainly includes the background, data, and analysis sections. And then for the annual update, we are required to review and update those sections that are highlighted there. The needs assessment, the goals, objectives, and strategies, which you should have received in the agenda packet, and the implementation plan. The service plan kind of describes the operations of how we deliver the service. And it also includes the cost revenue allocations and rate justification components of the plan. And the CTD requires us to look at and kind of review and update that rate model for the rates every year for the plan. So we'll be doing that as well. And I kind of made a note there too, that sometimes because of the timing of the CTD's approval, sometimes we have to separately, but it does get included into the plan. And the quality assurance section is the summary of the LCB's evaluation of the CTC. And we basically will look at that to make sure there's any unresolved or outstanding issues. So in the agenda packets, we provided the goals, objectives, and strategies for the plan for your review. And what we were asking for today is to kind of get a head start on going through some of those sections that need to be reviewed. Is to ask for your approval of the goals, objectives and strategies portion of the TDSP. And as far as our next steps, we will bring the draft to you in January of the TDSP for you to review and comment on. And we will have the final for the May meeting and request your approval at that time. And then we will submit it to the CTD to meet their deadline by July 1st. So I guess what we're asking for you today is to approve the goals, objectives, and strategies portion of the TDSP.
I get a motion to approve Sarasota County Transportation Disadvantaged Service Plans, goals, objectives, and strategies. Or do we have any questions before we move to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? It passes. Okay, next we'll be moving to the presentation portion of the meeting. With that item, 6A, Community Transportation Coordinator CTP report. Please, Seth, that would be you.
So same thing as last time, we're gonna run through the trolley on demand and the Breeze Plus services, and then we're also gonna run through like our airport transfers with Manatee County. It's been a good year for our trolley, up until October. We were in the top 1 or 2 years for ridership on that. The trolley was shut down from the hurricane until October 24th. So October's numbers are gonna be very low. One of our services, and it's running about $4 a passenger right now for us to operate that service. The on-demand services, the September again is a little bit lower because we had the issues with the hurricanes. We shut the service off to help with the evacuations. But last quarter, we still had 99,463 passengers. We gave 1,300 trips, or we didn't give to, but we provided 1,300 trips for Manatee County on Lido Longboat. And we've got 5,421 unique individual riders that use the service last quarter. Ride ratings are still 5-star, 96%. I come back here and I usually say that we're about 11 or 12%. The number of people that provide feedback, we're at 16%. 13,000 people provided feedback. So that's continuing to go up, and the higher that gets, the better. National average runs 4 or 5 from what they keep telling me. Northport is still our mass consumer, Venice is second, Lido Longboat, and then as of November 2nd, Siesta Key on-demand zone is no longer in service. The Breeze Plus service, broken down, 35,000 passengers that were transported. It's a little lower than last year at this time. You can see on the top of that is going to be a negative 4%, and then a number from last year. What the number of riders we have is higher a little bit by like 13 people. So we're starting to see September is traditionally our lowest month for ridership. So going forward, we should start to see this creep back up and hit a peak somewhere January. Scott? Yeah.
January through February or March.
January, March. The next one is the request by scheduled preference. When you schedule a trip, you are able to request a depart at time, meaning I want to leave my house at 9, or you can request a arrive by time, which means I want to be at the doctor by 9 a.m. It's broken up. A lot of those are depart at, they want to leave their house at a certain time or leave a location at a certain time. And then their on-time performance for those are below that, and they are 2% of the need we're late on. Not a massive amount. We hold them to a contractual standard of 99, and the industry average is about 95 and that's really tight. So they're doing very well on that. This is the airport service that we do transfers to Manatee County in. Not a lot of this going on, 337, 24 individuals. You look at that Wednesday, still our main day, and a lot of those are work related. And then if you look at the times, the 2 times they're gonna do there about 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock AM. That's all I have. Any questions?
No. I don't. But thank you.
Thank you, Seth. Next, we will move to the DOT report. Victoria?
Okay, for the federal grants from 2024, within this area, we granted Sarasota County Breeze 53 DIN capital funds for 3 vehicles. So we're working on that contract now, putting it together, getting it sent to them for review. As far as the grant applications that are due, the grant applications for the 2025 federal fiscal year, those are due December 13th by 5 o'clock. So if anybody is applying that isn't aware of when the due date is, that's when you need to have it in by. We also started the round 3 of FDOT triennial reviews, began in 2024. So if you're not familiar with that, it's basically like an audit for the agencies that receive funding from FDOT. And we come in and check their driving records, their maintenance logs. We do like they've been virtual, but some of them we do in person. But basically, they show us their pre and post trip inspections of how they do it, and we kind of spec a watch and then basically grade them on it. So like a draft report of what their findings are. We don't have any in progress right now in this area, but we do have City of Sarasota that's coming up on November 20th, so this month. So I'll have maybe some kind of update on that by the time I see you guys in January. And that is it.
Questions? No? Okay. Next. No, this is awkward. Next is NPO staff report. David Machado will present it. No, at this point, like I mentioned this morning, the MPO doesn't have a lot to report at this time. We're mostly dealing with what everybody else is also dealing with, you know, the hurricane. We've been reaching out to our local agencies to see how they were doing and how the MPO could assist in the process. Our office was closed for a little over a week. When we had no power, then we didn't have internet service, so staff was working remotely. But we would like to take this time, like I mentioned this morning, we would like to take this time to open it up to you guys. I guess it's kind of the round table, but I guess put it out there to see how everybody did, how your agencies do, and if there's anything that the MPO could do to assist during this process. So, start with you.
So our agency fared out pretty well, considering some of the others that other agencies and other homes that have been destroyed. We had minor damage. We did receive an email from Mr. Burrow extending an invitation if we needed any assistance. So we declined. We didn't have any substantial damage, so we're okay.
I'm sorry. As far as my office in Bartow, District 1, we're good. Some of our other operation centers and stuff had some damage. And then our biggest thing has been just working with our agencies who had loads of damage. That's been a lot of fun, but other than that, we good.
Our facility sustained some minor damage, fences, trees, couple of roof panels, garage door blown in. Other than that, we did not have any vehicles that were damaged. We did close down for a couple of days, mostly while we assisted with evacuations. We did that and then got back. We were out of service basically for 2 days for our regular service. But we went back in Saturday. mostly for medical trips. We put a priority on medical trips, especially dialysis when we get into situations like that. So the people need that, that's critical care for those people that need it in a timely manner. So we're through it now and doing well.
I'm a brand new employee. My first week was the week between the hurricanes. So I'm not exactly sure if I'm at liberty to talk about the Department of Health's situation at work.
The Breeze admin building, I think fared pretty well, but the county admin building did not fare well. And they are still closed, and staff is somewhat scattered throughout the county and different facilities or e-working. And I'm not sure if they've actually got a plan figured out. They may just kind of wing it until the new facility is built, but yeah, there was quite a bit of damage to the building downtown. And then of course Breeze was occupied with a lot of emergency evacuations. I know you were out.
I was hiding in a hotel room.
Yeah. So Scott spoke to it too, but service was shut down for during the storm, obviously, and then after the storm to continue with evacuations from the shelter, and then to temporary shelters that were set up. So it was quite a lengthy process, actually. But I think everything now is back on track.
Oh,
Yeah.
just to expand on that one, they did transport just over 2,000 people or 2,000 trips during the hurricane, for scale during Ian, Helene, and what's the other one? Debbie. We didn't transport more than 200 or 300 each one. So this was a massive evacuation scale evacuation form. So they did great. It did shut down our Siesta Key trolley for several weeks because we couldn't get on Siesta Key to go out there. That caused us to lose drivers. Drivers couldn't not work. So we're in the process of rebuilding that. We have our Siesta Key trolley is still running downtown, but it's short a single trolley until we get staff built back up. My general manager for that is actually one of the drivers right now. So it's fun. And then on demand, we were going to reduce service on Siesta Key in November because it wasn't productive. And we ended up just, when we got the hurricanes, we just shut that off early. That's it for me.
We have to we follow the county operation administration schedule. So Sarasota County shut down, then we shut down. We were just also, I haven't heard of any complaints or issues with any of the consumers that we serve. So just shut down for like Tuesday to Monday. We got to work from home and then back in the office on Tuesday. So.
Same thing with us, we're at the schools, we were shut down for the 6 days, and we used a lot of our schools for shelters. Most of them did pretty well, and there's still a little bit of damage, but nothing that is major.
Department of Children and Families, our office was okay. We were just out of power for about a week or so. But I mean, most of our staff anyways is equipped to work remotely. Our child protective and adult protective investigators, of course, were 24/7 available throughout the hurricane and everything. There's never shutting down those. We activated Hope Florida program immediately after every single hurricane, starting with Debbie and then Helene and then Milton. And our teams responded with the points of distribution for the supply, water, tarp and stuff like that throughout all of the counties in the circuit. Also, our team canvassed the neighborhoods that we, inquired with the county that were mostly affected, and we kind of went door to door, offering the services, getting them to know about Activate Hope program. And then finally, right now, we're in a stage of the disaster benefits, or DSNAP, for most of you who know it. We are opening that up. We're at the stage 2, which includes almost all of the Suncoast. And we're starting with Pasco County, I believe, November 16th, and then all the other counties will follow. Sarasota locations will be down south, and I don't have the date, but for any follow-ups, it's gonna be announced on our website at myflorida.com/accessflorida. If you go to Hurricane Milton, click on it, and there's a big letters DSNAP. It's gonna provide you all the information, when, where, locations, and all of that.
I'm Brenda. Our office was closed for about 2 weeks. Didn't sustain any damages, but just lost power.
I apologize for being late. With the Area Agency on Aging for Southwest Florida. We are not in Sarasota, we're in Lee County. We lost power for 2 days, but my team was off the entire week just because we still have a little PTSD from Ian. That we just took all the precautions that we could to make sure everyone was prepared and everything. But we were out here in Sarasota after the storm. We actually were with Secretary Harris in one of the communities, and then our secretary from the Department of Elder Affairs as well. And just making sure that seniors were assisted and offered the resources that they needed.
I think there was a lot of lessons learned from this storm, and at least for us in our studies and stuff, there's a lot of things to look at, looking to the future as to how to harden the infrastructure and how to get post-storm, how to move forward. Anything else? Anybody have anything else that they want to share?
If I may add, I think after the Debbie, the first one in end of August, like beginning of September, somehow that was the time frame. I think the counties, both Sarasota and Manatee, have done really excellent job getting all the partners in a community together and start that MARC, which is the multi-agency recovery center. Everything is in one place where people can come and receive talk to, FEMA, talk to DCF, talk to, Agency on Aging. Everyone was there at the one spot, get all the necessary material, cleaning supplies, stuff like that. Versus really, in the past, it was like, well, you go here, and then FEMA is over there, and then DCF is over here. And at that moment, people don't have transportation. They're struggling as it is, trying to figure out the housing for the next week or 2 weeks while, their house is being demolished and rebuilt again. And I think that was a good learning point this year. It's just that I think that we got overwhelmed after having 2 more right after, and I know we're still in recovery mode. Most of us are. It's really hard to get back to a normal daily routine. But I appreciate all the partners. I mean, it was a lot of work done. Yeah.
I'll echo what she said, and then on the co-ed calls, those were daily. And then I think right now they're at least once a week, but just all the community partners coming together. So if you're not part of that, your agency's not part of that, I would highly encourage participation in that, because you get a lot of information. And then the email list, I think it's Chris, I forgot what his last name is.
Johnson.
Yes, he sends a lot of the resources that are available, and that's just a way of making sure that you're informed of the resources available for the community, even if you're not able to attend the class.
Anything else?
Let's hope we don't get thrown too. Right?
Oh, thanks everybody for attending. The next LCB meeting is scheduled to be held January 15th at 1 p.m. Meeting is now adjourned.
You know what? You do that just fine. So we may tell Brett to decline.